Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ATR's War Bedlam Media's premier wrestling podcast covering AEW to WWE. I'm Sam, the SLV, co-host of ATR's War and ATR Rising Sun, and joining me today is the man behind X, Wrestling's Nostradamus, and ATR's Governor of NXT. That's going to be very sweet to hear. Scott.
It's still weird because for like all of last season, it was always Sam would introduce himself and talk about, future governor of NXT. And now that it just changed, it's just, I don't know, it's still weird to hear. But yes, we have lots to talk about this week. It's just the two of us. No Ethan, no John, both on assignment. But that doesn't mean that the ATR and the Bedlam stops. There's a lot happened this past week. So yeah, we got a lot to talk about.
We do have a lot to talk about, even though the first time ever two-time Bedlam Media champion, as well as the meager mogul himself, John the Statman, is not with us. We got plenty of things to talk about. Week from now, about Backlash.
Yep.
So obviously not something we're going to be covering outside of the show. No picks there. Actually, we're out of season at the moment, so we had a lot to talk about. I want to start off a couple of small things. We will actually start off with the AEW item because there wasn't a lot to talk about for AEW this week. AEW announced a new pay-per-view. What am I looking for? Copyright. Was that it?
The trademark.
Yeah, for Redemption. A week or so ago. And there are rumors right now that's going to happen in July. Montreal is potentially one of the cities that comes up.
Okay.
Seemingly confirmed. Sorry, Per Slam Wrestling. Is this the same article? Yeah, Montreal. It looks like it could be in Montreal. So we're going to keep an eye on that. It's interesting. I was just watching I'm going to bring this up because I was talking to you guys about it. I was just seeing how some random journalist is saying that AEW has not locked in a contract yet and that Warner Brothers Discovery does not want to renew and Paramount's not interested. And I confirm with Ethan that doesn't sound correct. He goes, that journalist is a shitty journalist. Regardless, going off of that, why would you start trademarking more pay-per-views if things were not looking so we're looking grim?
Right, exactly. Yeah, you wouldn't be spending more money to trademark something if you weren't going to get, if there wasn't a deal or if they weren't doing better. I mean, I know I'm far behind watching, but from what I hear from you guys and what I'm seeing on the internet, AEW is still doing fine. So,
yeah. I who knows? Anything can happen. But regardless, we might have another pay-per-view coming. Which I want to jump to now to WWE. Obviously, with the back-to-back Vegas shows out of the way, and now we have Riyadh locked in for 27. We're already talking about WrestleMania 44 for 28. This is from the Takedown on Sports Illustrated. Some cities in the U.S. already putting together their proposals for 2028. Nashville has already put in a bid for WrestleMania that year with $3 million plus tax breaks with their bid. And it seems like that is a front runner from the information I am seeing.
I mean, I think that'd be huge. They already seem to go to Nashville, or at least in that area, a lot already. And from what I remember seeing, Nashville's growing at a very large and quick rate. So putting a huge show like WrestleMania in Nashville, I feel like would be very good for that area.
Yeah. I'm not got a friend in Nashville, so maybe I'm gonna have to go back in 2 years. It's what is it, San Andreas? Oh shit, here we go again.
Here we go again.
So It'll be nice to have it here. Again, we're not against having it in the States. We're not against having it in Canada or England. You've got plenty of options. Find one.
Yep.
Do something.
Yep.
Make it exciting. So that is we'll be keeping an eye on that. And I'm assuming we'll definitely have something probably more set in stone in the next 6 months.
Yeah, if not sooner. Yeah.
All right. No, you know what? We're gonna have a double main event show. How about that? Because we got two big topics to talk about. There's your title right there, Scott. So this one I want to bring up quickly. You actually brought this one up, and the conversation actually had come up. I think around Mania time, somebody had brought this up about Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah, apparently there's. I mean, we don't normally talk about rumors on the show. It's just that's something we normally don't engage with. But this one seems a lot more plausible, considering things with ESPN and TKO. The rumors that Stephen A. Smith is going to be brought into WWE in some capacity. I know he's talked about it when he's interviewed wrestlers on his shows. I feel like honestly he'd be a great heel manager, because the crowd already hates him and most people don't like him on the shows as it is. So I feel like it's a natural fit, but and the man knows how to talk. So I feel like if he can get the right pointers and make some good promos, I feel like that this could be interesting to watch. I don't hate it already. I think it's definitely has some opportunities to do some good stuff. It's just a matter of who do they put him with.
Yeah, you know what? There's a lot of things he says that I don't care for, but then definitely there's some takes I'm just like, that's just, yeah, he's not wrong there. When he's wrong, I disagree with him a lot of the time, but there's some I'm just like, he's on fire with that.
Yeah.
You can't, because of some of his really hot takes, which I agree with, he doesn't bother me as much. There's a lot. I think that goes with anybody. You can be like, that's just very dumb. But solid, and he would be great. Great heel work. He knows it. I know for a fact he would eat it up.
If I remember correctly, when we were watching Mania and they showed him on the screen and the crowd started to boo, he just did the Rainmaker pose and just kind of was just like, yes, just feed it to me. So yeah, he's already got that part down. He's got the charisma. It's just don't say stupid things on TV. That's all you got to do. If you stay away from that and you stick to I hate saying stick to the script, but if you stick to what's going on with the segment you're in, you'll be good. You'll be fine.
He might, yeah. I mean, I think that'd be the only concern is how many shoots he would do.
Yeah, that's true too.
So there are those few topics. I promise you this won't be a short episode because we got a lot to talk about. We're going to our double main event. They're going to book up the whole show. This is like the Royal Rumble of episodes with 2 Royal Rumbles or a World War III match if you think the show's bad.
Jesus.
All right. We were hoping the rest of the cast would be here to talk about these things. Unfortunately, they're not. First and foremost, we had our post-Mania talent release from WWE.
Yep.
Boy, oh boy. Do we even want to read through this?
I mean, you talked about a Rumble. There were 26 wrestlers that were released, so you almost had a full Rumble right there. But, I mean, some of the smaller names don't really have to worry about. I'm sure that they'll be fine if they decide to continue wrestling. But we lost Kairi Sane, who was in the middle of an active feud between Io Sky and Asuka. And she's been on television every single week. And this one didn't make any sense. There were rumors that she wanted to go back to Japan or stuff like that. But I get her and I think WWE have said that that's not the case. It was just a financial decision. You had Aleister Black, who just came back like 6 months ago, and obviously his wife Selena Vega was let go. The entirety of the Wyatt Six was let go. You had Alba Fire, Zoe Stark, who's been injured for ever. Unfortunately, she just got cleared, and then she's been let go. And then you had Apollo Crews, who's been there for 11 years, but he's been off television for most of that, especially the latter half. And then Santos Escobar, who was working out of AAA. I guess honestly, the really only other big ones were the Motor City Machine Guns. They were let go as well. And a favorite of mine, Andre Chase from Chase U in NXT. So there were some others as well, but it was just like 26. And the timing of this was awful. I'd come home from work and I decided, hey, I'm gonna play some 2K26, have some fun, just not paying attention to my phone. So I played for a little bit, I put my controller down, looked at my phone, I had like 30 messages. I'm like, what is going on? It's Ethan saying all the releases. I'm like, what the hell? I just want to have some fun and relax, and now this shit's going on. Like, everybody's getting fired. Yeah, it was not a fun time.
Yeah, I mean, we expect this at this point. The ones that really surprised me, if I'm being completely honest with you, Motor City Machine Guns. They were marketed as like a huge pick.
Yeah,
because they are arguably one of the most popular and successful, if not the most popular and successful tag team to not make their waves in WWE yet.
Right. I mean, they had the moniker of their favorite, your favorite tag team's favorite tag team. And yes. I mean, they revolutionized tag team wrestling. I mean, obviously, yes, you can put the Bucks and stuff like that in that same bucket, but like even the Bucks learned from Motor City Machine Guns. And so now that they're gone after their 90 days, they're heavily rumored to go back to AEW. They could also go back to TNA. Honestly, I wouldn't mind if they both go back to wrestling, if they go back and be singles competitors again, because their stuff that they had in TNA or Impact Wrestling back then was a lot of fun as well to watch. That was a huge surprise too.
Because they made a big deal when they picked them up.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, they won what? They won the tag team championships at week 3 or on the third match?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And they held it for a little bit. And then all of a sudden they just kind of like, because we see this often, like there are teams or there are even wrestlers that have their moment in the sun for a long time. And then all of a sudden they just start fading away and they go into the tumbler with everybody else while new people take over the top scene. So I fully expected them to start making their way back up top, but apparently that's not the case. But apparently they also just released a rap album or some type of album. I don't know if it was rap. Rap just popped in my head. But yeah, they just released an EP. I saw as well. So maybe something for you and John to look after on the review realm.
Yes, I forgot. I didn't add that to my new intro about that. That was big. I mean, Zoe Stark's been. I love her. I don't know why she doesn't get used the way she is. Obviously, she is injured currently. The other one, Aleister Black. That was another one where they made a big fuss out of him not doing anything in AEW, and like, all right, he's gonna come back under Triple H and he's gonna do things. Things are gonna happen.
He had a pretty decent feud with Damian Priest, which I think lasted a lot longer than it probably should have. But other than that, he literally faded to black, and it makes me sad.
So how much say does WWE have in TNA signing that talent?
I don't think, honestly, any. I know, like from what I've read, like Carlos Silva has TNA, under him. Like he is the president. He runs the show. I think the deal they have with WWE is just for like NXT. I don't think they haven't bought TNA, which is what a lot of people think has already happened. Will it happen? I don't know, but I feel like they're still their own. But you're right. I could definitely see a good handful of the people that were let go here end up over there. I did see something that Santos Esquire is already going to be in talks
CMLL.
with CMLL. Yep.
Mhm.
So he may show up on AEW television at some point. Nikki Cross actually has already submitted trademarks for, I think it was Nikki Storm and Best in the Galaxy, I think
Mhm.
I saw. So she's clearly going back to the Indies, which I think is great. I could see Dexter and maybe even Joe go to TNA. Eric Rowan maybe go back to AEW for a hot minute, or maybe he can just call it a career. Doesn't have to worry about that. But the big one, I think, and this one will probably be a nice breath of fresh air when she gets back in, is Kylie Ray, or known as Alba Fire. I hated when they changed her name when she came over from NXT UK. The Kylie Ray just is just such a, it's a great name, and then they
Mhm.
change it to Alba Fire, and I'm like, I felt like it was neutering her character, and it kind of did. So I'm excited to see where she ends up. Her going to AEW, I feel like, is pretty much probably set in stone.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's always Japan. There's the all the Joshi Pro promotions over in Japan.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I mean, this one wasn't super shocking. I mean, they made such a big deal out of the Wyatt Six.
Yeah,
I think that's the thing where it's like, oh, this is going to be Bray's legacy now, and they did nothing with that.
no, they had that humongous entrance when like they destroyed like half the backstage, and it looked like Chad Gable got shot in the head, which was a huge like, what the hell just
Mhm.
happened? And yeah, I don't know. Like I thought Bo was doing a great job. Being Uncle Howdy, like the vignettes that they would do were a lot of fun to watch. They kept the creepiness that Bray had, and it seemed to be working. And even their feud with the MFTs on SmackDown was entertaining to watch. So I don't know. It just kind of sucks to see them all just kind of get let go altogether. I mean, it's yeah, I don't know. It's
Yeah,
just
I
sad to see this stuff happen. But 3 months will go by quickly, and I'm sure 90% of this talent will be back somewhere wrestling.
Slammiversary.
Yeah, that's always a good one. Hey, where's that going to be this year's?
Hmm. This might be a good show for you to go to, Scott.
Maybe.
Um, so yeah, I mean, not surprised. I mean, this will be interesting because as we knew, okay, this is what I will say with WWE that AEW doesn't do well. WWE is good at cleaning house, whether you
Yes.
like the talent or not. They kind of were good too back in the day,
Hmm.
but then they would just hold on to people. But like they do have like a season, like we know when the releases are coming.
Yep.
AEW is I don't they just like let it fizzle. We're just gonna keep you on contract.
Yeah, they'll
Not
sit at
really.
home until their contract's up, and then all of a sudden they're just gone. Like there's no like, oh, they've been released. It's just my contract's up, and now I'm a free agent.
Yeah. So, I we'll see what happens. Um I think if these companies did this more, it might rejuvenate the indie scene a little bit.
Yeah,
Here's my
I
theory.
there's a big amount of talent in this crew that's been let go. So yeah, I mean, like I said, in 90, well, actually, it's less than 90 days now. It's almost a week in since this happened. Of course, naturally, this stuff all happens after we record an episode because that's just how this rolls when it comes to us doing this stuff. It doesn't matter what day we change because we've changed multiple days when we record this show, and big news breaks sometimes within 12 hours of us doing a show. And every time Sam and I are texting each other like, well, this broke today. We'll have to talk about that next week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um But I think with the way, because this is what indie promotions are good at doing, and I think you know this as well. Every time something like this happens, it's like oh, um, come see former WWE superstar so and so. And as much as I mean, it doesn't really matter to the somebody who watches all the time. Like, oh, that's cool, cool. They're gonna be there. Somebody who can't go to a wrestling show, who might have liked that person on television, be like, oh, they're gonna be local. Let's
Yep.
go see them at a local show.
Yep. Perfect example of that is actually in about a little over 2 weeks. Carlito is coming up to Vermont to go to Green Mountain Wrestling. So I'm gonna try to see if I can go to that show because it'd be kind of
It'd
cool.
be
No
cool.
pun intended.
All right. To add to all this, we're gonna be focusing on let's hop over to NXT because there's been a handful of things going on with NXT right now.
Mhm.
Huge news this week. If you've seen the shorts, if you haven't seen the shorts, join us on TikTok, where I give you news in 30 seconds with a hopefully pleasant personality. It was announced this week that I think they announced that the PLEs were going to be on CW starting in July with Great American Bash. And I'm like, oh, right, cool. And then they'll be on the CW thing the day after.
Yep.
Cool. CW is exclusively getting everything on NXT. So we thought.
Well,
Part 2 was the following day when we found out that Roku and ESPN were getting NXT content.
Mm-hmm. I think Roku is the next day.
Next day.
And ESPN Unlimited, which is where all the main event WWE shows are, they will also be live streaming the NXT PLEs because CW Sports doesn't have an actual streaming service. The CW app just has stuff. It doesn't do streaming. So I guess they tied in with ESPN Unlimited. So now anything that streams through CW will immediately be on ESPN. So that works for me. I don't have to worry about downloading the CW app. I can just watch it on ESPN Unlimited.
Yeah, it was quite the move.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh yeah, it's gonna get CW. I'm wondering if they're just trying to get the NXT brand to grow.
I mean, I hope so.
There's still a lot of people out there who only watch Raw and SmackDown. And again, this goes back to the whole do some fucking research conversation. I don't know who that is. I don't watch NXT. Dude, the internet's there. It's 2026.
Seriously.
Don't be lazy.
Right? Exactly. Everything doesn't have to be spelled out for you. But speaking of NXT, they do one thing really well.
Mm-hmm.
Is they have these nice little vignettes of their up and coming stars or people who are transitioning from either like Evolve or LFG to come to NXT. This week there were a lot of new random debuts that happened. The biggest one I think for me was Lizzie Rain. She's I don't remember her indie name, but like her whole gimmick is just living in that heavy metal like lifestyle. And I remember I messaged Sam. I said, Sam, this is going to be your new Zoe Stark. I said, this girl, like I've seen some of her matches online and I'm like, all right, this girl's got something special. And so she had her first match on NXT this past week. And I'm not going to spoil it for you, but Sam, I think you're going to fall in love with her finisher. So if you could find it, please watch that match. It shouldn't be too long. It was her versus Nikita Lyons. But I think she's going to be your new favorite. I really do. But go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, I remember I came across this because you had said, oh yeah, this and that. And then I went looking, I saw an article. I'm like, wait a minute. As you know, I'm a metal fan.
Yeah.
So she is the niece of the original drummer of Iron Maiden, Clive Burr. Legit. So it was like, and then the jacket she came out with, I guess, was her uncle's jacket that he used to wear back in the day.
Yep.
So, I mean, what was he on? He was on literally. How long was he in Iron Maiden for? Sorry, I'm literally looking this up now. 79 to 82, which that would have put him. He was on Number of the Beast. If you don't know that album, you're definitely living under a rock in the metal world. Yeah, last with drummer Clive Burr. All right. I thought it was kind of cool. I'm like, oh wow, this isn't just like somebody I like metal. It's like, oh no, there's some real history going on.
Exactly.
This is
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of cool.
It's legit. I like that. It's realism. It's good stuff. And she's a phenomenal wrestler. So yeah, I feel like she's gonna be one of those ones that are gonna skyrocket towards the top of that division real quick. But of course, after Mania, there's always the shuffle. There's always the call ups. So we've had multiple people getting called up to Raw, called up to SmackDown. So that leaves a huge void in NXT. So over the last couple of weeks, there's been an influx of new talent. There's been people from, like I said before, Evolve, people from LFG. Now, I don't have the time, unfortunately, to watch any of those shows. I only see like clips that'll be on the internet. So a lot of these people come in. I'm just like, who are these people? But they're making an impact. So I'm going to pay attention to see what's going on. So for me, this is probably my favorite time of the year for NXT because there's all this new influx of talent, and not to mention there's people from out of out of the country that are coming in. There's a new talent from England that just showed up, and of course there's Sam's favorite. We don't know if his name is actually what it is, but from New Japan, Evil has arrived, challenging essentially Tony D'Angelo for the NXT Championship. But there was some other stuff that happened with that. So I don't want to give too much away because I know Sam's probably gonna at some point watch that episode. But it's there's a lot going on, and it's I really enjoy watching NXT on Tuesdays. It's so much fun.
I'm gonna hot take. Gonna get people really riled up here. NXT weeks after Mania is more exciting than Raw after Mania.
For the last few years, I would say outside of this year, both Raw and SmackDown made me feel like a late, like not attitude era, but a late
Ruthless Aggression.
Thank you. Yes, I was like, oh my god, what was the one after that? But Ruthless Aggression always made me feel like there's something huge that's going to be happening on the Raw and SmackDown after Mania. And this year was the first time, and probably I'd say since maybe before COVID, that I was so excited for the show, and it delivered. So, but that's also because the NXT talent that was called up had been phenomenal in NXT for years. So it makes sense. Now there's a vacuum in NXT. Who's going to step up? There's still the favorites that have been around for years, and they're not slouches. So are they going to finally step in? Or will be some of these newcomers like Lizzie Rain? Will she just fly in and start taking away the major titles? I don't know, but I'm going to be watching. I'm very excited.
I think we had this conversation pre-Mania because there's a lot of people who retired this year who are big show stealers.
Yep.
And it's opening not just little area, but big areas to fill. So let's assume, obviously, seen as a big one. Part-timer, yes, but that's a Mania spot.
Yep.
AJ Styles, full-timer, gone. That was a Mania, guaranteed Mania spot.
Yep.
Brock Lesnar now. You don't have I'm going to say assume because yes, this seemed to be the case. Has he come out and addressed this at all?
Nope. He has not. She's not shown up on television at all since they've talked about it. They've recapped what happened at Mania, but nothing. I mean, the only thing we had anything to do with Brock was when Oba came out Monday after Mania and just said that, this is my yard. He had the Roman Reigns moment after Reigns beat Taker. Except the crowd was cheering him. and booing him profusely for
Uh-huh.
15 minutes, which that I will never forget that either. Holy smokes, that was ridiculous.
I was in the building for that one. But yeah, there's gonna be a lot of spots opening, so that's why when the moves were happening, when all the releases, I think we were I think you were on the same page as me and go, there's talent retiring, but there's a bottleneck because they got a lot of talent and a lot of good talent.
Yep.
Like if I looked at like every time I look at WWE, because I don't get to watch it as much, it's like, oh yeah, this person's they also got this person. You could do this with this. Oh, you got this person. You got this. Like you got all these other people that you can use. But then you got to look at NXT because those people can't stay down forever. They don't want to pay that. They don't want to get that $60,000. They want that top dollar.
Yep.
So you knew that they were going to start making moves. So I think this year was really exciting in that regard because now we're talking about people who are coming in.
Yep.
New talent, talent from overseas. And again, we still have Randy. Yep. Randy, for a fact I don't know. Do you see him wrestling?
He said he just signed a new contract. I think it was last year. So I think he's got like 4 years left on it, he said, from what I read. So I'm sure he's enjoying his time off after Mania. And, I honestly kind of expected to see him, especially with how his match with Cody ended, with Randy essentially leaving the victor, even though he did technically lost the match. But we haven't seen him. But we do see the remainders of him. If you look at Cody's eye for the last 2 weeks, it has been disgusting to see. So I don't know. I don't know where Randy goes from here. I don't know if he's going to continue to go after Cody. I don't feel like maybe they should at this point, but I don't know. Cody also teased a potential rivalry with Punk as well. So,
and Punk's another one who's not young.
Correct.
Yeah, NXT is gonna be. I have some good hope for NXT going into the next year.
It's not black and gold level yet, but it's getting there. It's starting to feel like it did when black and gold just got going. So we'll see if that momentum keeps up. But I know that when it almost died with 2.0, it was not good times, but it's starting to get better. HBK is doing a good job down there. I hate to say it, but I love when he puts out a TikTok because this is the funniest shit I've ever seen.
I saw one where I forgot who was he dancing with, two of the younger girls?
Probably
some like viral dance or something. And I was like, this is kind of funny. But again, he's still technically their boss, so it's kind of like, is he a corporate man? Yeah, but he's like, yeah, you definitely know there's a little bit of play in there,
right? He's also he's still the Heartbreak Kid,
They're not just businessmen; they were talent at one point.
That's right.
That's what makes him and Triple H very, very special. The other thing I wanted to talk about on NXT, and I haven't seen it yet. The AI thing that's going on right now.
Yes. Talking about call-ups, Sol Ruka was called up to Monday Night Raw, and the following night she had a last woman standing match against her former longtime tag team partner turned bitter enemy, Zarya. And Zarya's character, ever since she's come in, she's kind of had that like post apocalyptic style about her. Her vignettes are all like in like wasteland type stuff, and like it looks very AI-ish. So, but it's done well. So, but I know how touchy of a subject AI is with a lot of people. So they had one this week where Zarya is talking about how she's finally free of Sol Ruka and like everything that's happened. And they showed pictures of like because Soruka's things that she's a surfer girl, so like a broken surfboard and like a picture of kind of like a beat up Soruka. Like you can tell it's clearly AI the way they're doing it because her facial features look completely not completely, but they look different enough from what Soul looks like that you can tell. But the story that Zarya was telling during the whole vignette made sense for it to be like that because just the way it worked out. I thought it was fine, but a lot of people on the internet are upset. But then again, it also is Thursday, so that's just another day for people to get upset on the internet. So in this case, it fits Zarya's gimmick. So it kind of, I don't see a problem with it. As long as it doesn't take over. I know that there's other things that now apparently, Triple H and all their writers are now heavily using AI from what we've been told. Again, we don't know if any of that's true. Somebody put a picture up when Jelly Roll took an RKO when they showed like the executive producers and they had Triple H's name, somebody else's name, and then Chat GPT. So like they're making the jokes, they're making the rounds, but there's a time and place for when people can get upset. But this made sense why they did it. It's within the realm of what Zarya is. So I don't see what the uproar is for it, but there are those ones that just hate AI because it's AI. So whatever.
Yeah, as long as you're not using it for everything.
Exactly.
Because again, I mean, people forget how much it costs. Yeah, you can pay artists and da 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 da. Sure, yes, you can. Not taking that away from them. Maybe you need something quick and paint. Like it's inevitable. It's gonna happen.
Yep.
Maybe people need to up their art and their worth and their value. But if they start using it because I'll tell you right now, Triple H and Shawn Michaels, they're not young men, they're old men. They know how to write. I work in a corporate setting where they talk about it using AI all the time. You need to be utilizing it.
Same. They do the same thing to us in IT. So,
all right. So if you're to use that all the time, you got to make sure that you use it as a tool and not to replace you.
Thank you. Yep. So exactly.
If you're using it, because here's the thing, I don't think Triple H and Shawn Michaels are going to completely jump to that. But if you have the next generation coming and they're younger and like, oh yeah, we'll just use AI and write it and then not checking anything. Because I know people do that. I see it all the time.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm not like, whatever, What are you going to do?
It made sense where it was used. So, like you said, it's not being used for everything. So I don't know. There shouldn't be as much of an uproar as there was, but whatever.
You know what AI I think is really good for? It's something like that, where it's like a dream sequence.
Yeah.
It almost even AI videos that's supposed to look real don't look real.
Right.
They feel like a fever dream.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I'll find the video and I'll send it to you, and we could talk about that afterwards. And I want to see what your feelings are on it.
I absolutely will do that. Oh, look at that. Sorry, Scott. Back on. News? I do have breaking news. They have 3 5-star Rey Mysterios on the WWE Champions app right now.
Oh.
Sorry. Yes. Scott and I started talking during Mania, and now I think we're back on the train again.
Oh, man. Yeah, that game had us by the throat for a long time. And then we both successfully walked away from it. And then WrestleMania was on and they had a promo code for it. And Sam and I were watching it offline with each other and we were both like, oh no. Oh no.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, no, there's a lot of good stuff here. So anyhow, what was the last thing I wanted to bring up?
Oh,
Did you watch? You probably haven't. I know you're crazy all the time. Did you watch the Hogan documentary yet on Netflix?
No, I need to. I know Andrew's been talking about it in our other group chat. But no, I'm hoping this weekend I won't be home, so I won't be able to watch it this weekend. But if I could try to sneak it in next week, I would like to, because obviously for those of you who watched WrestleMania on ESPN, you saw the or not ESPN, but on Netflix, you saw the promo for the documentary 8 billion times. So
We did not. So
yeah, we did not. Yeah,
we I think it's something worth talking about,
I
whether
agree.
it be here or offline.
I think it'd be a good discussion for online. Maybe for if all the episodes are out or when they all come out, we should do a show.
They're all out.
Oh, they
I
are
wrapped
all
them
out.
up this
Okay,
week. Yeah,
all right,
there's only 4 episodes.
okay. I wasn't sure what their release schedule was, but that's good to know that they're all out. So you
It's
can try to
Netflix.
get them.
Netflix is just a
Oh, that's true.
content dump.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
So yeah, we'll have to talk about that. But I don't know. I think that's all we got.
Yeah, nice short episode. I know our last few have been an hour plus, so this one will give our fans a little more time for themselves.
Yes, it will. But on our way out, Scott, tell people where they can find you at.
You pretty much find me everywhere as Scotty J Stream. I do all the non-Japanese wrestling takes on X. And after doing a card opening pack show after or before night 2 of WrestleMania, we'll be looking forward to doing that again. I'm going to make sure I do more promotions for that because I'd like to see if we get a lot more people in the chats and have some conversations and have some fun with it.
Yeah, definitely watch that. Don't forget to follow me and John the Statman on the Review Realm. We've been covering album reviews of new releases, and it doesn't stop. So, guys, definitely check us out. We're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and we're on Discord. I just need a new ending. That's it, guys. That's all we got. Thank you for listening. And as always, do not forget to join the Bedlam.
Thanks, guys.